Good evening. We're calling to order Berea Tourism Commission special called meeting Wednesday, September 10th, 2025 in council chambers, 304 Chestnut Street. I'm going to begin with a roll call. Laurie Carpenter's out today. Jim Davis.
Here.
Donna Brewer.
Here.
Shelley Wolf.
Here.
Todd Holbrook.
Here.
I'm Will Gover. I'm present. We have a quorum. All right. Next item on agenda, we're going to approval of the agenda.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, so by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Approval of minutes. If you all would like to take a moment and review the minutes from the meeting on June 11th, 2025. We had to cancel a couple meetings there due to not having a quorum and the crafts fair. So that's where we're reviewing the June 11th, 2025 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 11.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and second. All in favor of approving the minutes, so by saying aye.
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 All right, any opposed? All right, moving on to the, and I'll make a correction there. We did have minutes from June 11th, July 30th, and August 20th, but the 20th we did not have a quorum, correct? Just to clarify for record there. All right, number 5 on the agenda, Nancy Conley, programming for the van.
Yes, we have been asked by two different events to provide some type of shuttle service. We have a request standing for the from the Berea Chamber of Commerce regarding the Spoonbread Festival to provide shuttle service on Friday evening for the balloonists, either from the hotel and or community school lawn to their dinner location and then back to the community school lawn. That's one request. The second request is from the Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen requesting shuttle service on 18th and 19th of October. Their event on the 18th is from 10 to 5, and their event on the 19th is 10 to 4. It's the Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen Fall Market. It's held at the Kentucky Artisan Center, and their shuttle service is going from Seabury Center to the Artisan Center and back. So those are two requests. If that is in line with the programming that you all see fit, we would like to offer that programming.
Do you all have any questions for Nancy on this request?
Excuse me. Nancy, is that a continuous service for both days, or do you know, or is it a one trip in and out, or?
For the Spoonbread Festival,
I'm sorry, for the,
for the Guild, it would be a continuous thing on both days.
okay. Thank you.
I would imagine that the event time starts at 10. I would imagine they wouldn't be using overflow parking at 10 o'clock. It would be probably later in the day, maybe 11 or 12 o'clock.
I know both those events have been very good about bringing people into the community. I think it's great to be able to utilize this van that we've got now for this, and I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we approve this use for this. If there's no other need for any discussion on it.
I'll second the motion.
All right. All right, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, moving on to number 6, special program line item, Nancy Conley.
Thank you. I provided a copy of the budget supplement report showing the special programs line item and what was indicated the use of that line item that passed in this current fiscal year budget. I took that and broke it down onto an Excel spreadsheet for you and reviewed what that looked like over the last so many years. Those are average dollar amounts that we've spent on said items. I think that it would be important for us to look at the school sponsors and school plays and programs piece of that special programs line item and set a work session that we can further discuss that piece of the line item and how we use that and what we might like to offer or how we might want to work with the schools on any type of a sponsorship. And if this body accepts, I would like to present some work session dates and times that we could choose from for a future work session to discuss that. Thank you.
Yep, with no opposition from, I would like to table this item to a work session, and we'll discuss that work session at the, let me see if, so we will table number 6 to be discussed at the later work session. Number 7, sponsorship request, Living Sound Delusion Studios, Nancy Conley.
This is a carryover from our last meeting where we did not have a quorum. It's old business. This was a request from Living Sound Delusion Studio. They were having a fundraising event to raise money for the Bria Earth Warriors, which is a group of folks that do local cleanups throughout our community. My suggestion at the last meeting would have been to support the event, the cleanup itself. If the body so chose with the timing of our meetings. So this was just a carryover, so you can disregard that at this time, but I wanted to kind of close out that old business.
So just no action needs to be taken on this one.
That's correct.
All right, we'll move along then to number 8, regular scheduled meeting time, Nancy Conley.
With this, there has been discussion with this body about changing the regular scheduled meeting time to a later time. And so if this body so chooses to change that time, I would ask you please for a motion indicating the day of the week, the time and the location that you so choose to have your regular scheduled meeting each month. Currently, it's the second Wednesday of the month at 3 o'clock in the City Annex building.
At this time, we'll just open a little discussion on the time here. I know everybody polled the commissioners and everyone involved on what time would work best. So we'll just kind of open the floor here for people to discuss this, what would work best for the body.
Well, of course, I'm retired. I'm pretty flexible, but I think everybody else sitting up here and 2 that aren't here still work. And I think, to me, I think if we do something later in the day, maybe we can get better attendance. Time doesn't make any difference to me, but I know it does you all because you work, you got jobs. But that's just my opinion. Thank you.
I know my personal opinion, and I know most months have to use a couple hours leave to be able to be here, and I know several's in the same boat. I think any time after 4 myself would work better, but I'd like to hear what everyone else would work with the schedules and what would work better. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, things going on, obviously, for all of us. Works, midweek is kind of a harder, like Monday for me, 4 o'clock Mondays but like I said, that's just one of because I do cover 3 states with my job, so I'm covering hospitals and all over. And so to carve out time middle of the week and then we don't have a quorum, I'm like, you're killing me. Like, you know what I mean? That's, if I'm committed to be here, we need to have quorum. So, but I mean, Mondays are before the week kind of gets started and gets to the middle of everything. But Mondays is preferably 4 o'clock. But there again, I'll make it work.
I like Mondays if we were gonna change the day. I mean, I try to always make it work on Wednesday, but I think Monday's a good day for meetings too. I wouldn't want to start any later than 4 o'clock, but that's just my personal opinion.
I'm good with Mondays. Yeah, that would work better for me too, actually.
Most Mondays I could make work, with my job. I do have like an air conditioning meeting I have to attend that's on Mondays every now and then. So that might be the only thing. There might be some Mondays I could not be here, but I would be perfectly fine to try to make it work best I could with it.
Is there a way that we could notify Nancy in advance? I mean, do we need to try to work on our attendance as a group? If we know, I mean, I know it's not mandatory that we show up. And I know sometimes, I know you travel, I travel, sometimes like the last meeting, I didn't know I was gonna get caught in traffic, which is like, every day, all the time now, so.
It was until they get I-75 fixed. Like my 40-minute drive is turned into 2 hours today. So it was like, it's hard
And
for.
is there an option to be, I mean, I guess is there no way, I wouldn't have cared to have just been on the phone to have voted if I needed to, but I don't know that that's an option, what our bylaws are about that, so.
Zoom meeting.
I think during COVID, there was a exception for that, but that would, I believe it would be more than just this body voting on allowing that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. You're correct, Nancy. During COVID, we had the meetings remotely, but we changed that. That was an ordinance of the council. That affected city council meetings. Don't think that's necessarily binding on the Tourism Commission, but right now I would probably want to get legal advice and looking at the ordinance from legal counsel on whether you can do that. Right now, the city council could not do one remotely. We would have to do that in person, is what our ordinance allows us to do. And I'm not sure of the impact on tourism, but I would exercise caution and just that we would need to double check with legal counsel to see. Also, while I'm here, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I did have an opportunity to talk to Laura Carpenter, and she indicated that any time after 5 would be much better for her than 3. She's got a couple of new grandchildren, relatively new grandchildren, and makes it difficult for her to get here before 5 o'clock. But I did have a conversation with her. Can't speak for her, but that was the gist of what we spoke about.
I appreciate you sharing that, Mayor. Would this be something that we would want to discuss further at a work session to work out a time to see what, and maybe check with Laura Carpenter and
I
David
feel like
Crew?
we should get Laura and David's input, I mean, and if they're commissioners too. So maybe we just have some choices and options and check the box.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think hearing everybody's voice on it before we just set a new day and a new time. Definitely want to try to have everybody here if we can. So, no opposition. I'd like to just go ahead and table this to the next work session as well, and we can poll the rest of the members, and we'll move along on the agenda. Director's report, Nancy Conley.
Okay. In your packet, you have the budget status report. I've been trying to send that to you, to you all every month. If you have any questions on that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm excited to announce that we've had 6 different events right now since I've been back at the Berea Gallery and Event Center. They've been terrific. We've had 80-year birthday parties. We've had reunions for alumni from Berea College. It's just been a really great facility. There's a wonderful event held there today. It's being widely used, in my opinion. Of course, it's not booked every single night yet, but we are having a lot of inquiries regarding that facility, which is also, why it's important for me to look at kind of what direction we're looking to go so that we can get some staffing in place. It's we've got a lot of work that we've been trying to accomplish and things to do. But we're staffing it right now every Thursday through Saturday from 9 to 5, and then, of course, during any event usage. And an update on that, we did have some repair work and HVAC work done on the unit that operates upstairs. We've had a coolant leak there, I guess now twice. Once since I've been here, there's been a coolant leak on that unit. All of the rental agreements, rules, regulations, venue amenities, all of that stuff has been completed for that facility. As I said, we've been renting it, and we've got a lot of inquiries coming in. Some great trainings on the books for other organizations throughout the state coming later on in the year, and so that's great to see those types of use of that facility. We are close to being able to take credit card payments for reservations now for both of our rental properties, the Pavilion and Gathering Space, as well as the Berea Gallery and Event Center. So I think we're just waiting on the handheld device to come in at this point. As Mr. Sandlin or City Administrator Sandlin had indicated, we do have numbers and information now in for Craft Festival. I'll tell you the attendance numbers were slightly down compared to the last 2 years. The amount of vendors were up, and so we did have 107 craft vendors. 28 of those were new this year, and then there were 7 food vendors there. And we talked a little bit about staffing already, but as previously discussed, the media manager and program manager positions, that whole kind of process is currently on hold pending a future work session with this body. We did accept the resignation of Ted Kinson since we met last. We've developed position descriptions for seasonal maintenance. We're looking at that as a position that can help us with flower watering, excuse me. And you all knew exactly what I meant though, right? Maintaining our buildings with the rental properties that we have and all the different events. And then also potentially looking at that person helping us with programming with the van, any special event programming needs perhaps. So we have we started a partnership with Berea College. This is new for me, working with them on the Berea ships. So it's working with their, for instance, their work study program, but it's called Berea Ships. We will have 2 students working with our tourism department starting in January. We continued our partnership with the Berea Community School. We have a student from the Career Work Experience Certification Program that comes to work with us. Ms. Deborah works with him each week for 1 hour. It's September 4th through the end of April. This student, like I said, comes from community school, working 1 hour a week. Their teacher comes with them and they do, maybe they sweep the floor this week or clean our mirrors. They get some of those hands-on skills and training, and so we're excited to continue that partnership with them. And our billboard on I-75, exit 77, that artwork did go up. That was the purple billboard that we looked at. Says art and crafts, hike, bike, dine, exit 77 and 76, and it's right off that exit. So that's the billboard artwork that we've already looked at. Across from that, it's a left-hand read headed southbound. The Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen recently put up a billboard advertising their fall art market. And so that was really nice. They included our logo on their billboard. So it's kind of it's diagonal across from ours, but it's a left-hand read if you're headed southbound. So it's across the lanes of traffic. Ours, exit 77 billboard is a right-hand read if you're going down. So just not to confuse you all, but there's new billboard artwork on both of those. Like I said, the Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen put up their billboard artwork advertising that fall market. So I'm sure the shuttle will be in use with all the marketing and advertising they're doing. As you've seen driving through town, the Chestnut Street banners were received. They were installed by Public Works. I think they look great. In the back of the director's report, you'll find an article in there from the Lane Report. So the Kentucky Artisan Center was featured in the July Lane Report magazine. A couple more updates for you. Maddox Made did renew their lease in the old hotel building in the Artisan Village. And then just an update on some of the projects. The Ellipse Street shared use path and the pickleball courts are underway. I'm sure you all have already heard about those projects since we've met last. And then the last thing that you see there is the visitor count. These numbers are very discouraging looking at them right now, but we have to remember that we've made a shift and doing a lot of outdoor recreation advertising. So those folks aren't coming to shop and use the restroom at our visitor center. So when we look at these numbers, I think we have to remember and be mindful that these are the number of people coming into our Welcome Center door, not necessarily the number of people coming to Berea. So with that shift, I would say, if we continue to kind of look at these different avenues and different marketing approaches, and with the shift and everything being more digitalized now, I don't think people have to come into the facility anymore through the door. These numbers are still really great compared to a lot of different visitor centers. It amazes me the number of foot traffic that Berea has at the visitor center compared to other visitor centers. So I think, overall, I'm still really excited to see these numbers. So do you have any questions or anything else that I can share with you today?
Any questions for Nancy on the report?
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next, group tour report, Emily Reynolds.
Good afternoon, evening, I guess. We've crossed that 5 o'clock mark. Since our last report, I haven't changed much about this report. If you've noticed, since I wasn't able to actually give the report since last meeting, we didn't have a quorum. But that being said, I'll begin. So in the past couple of months, just tours that we've had that have been, we've had more tours than just these 3, but just of note. These were probably the biggest that we did. So, of course, we had the Friends of Boone's Trace Trail. The mayor actually did most of the planning for that. I was just kind of thrown in there at the end to get the tourism aspect of it. But, that was a big celebration of our Boone's Trace Trail that brings in some tourists into our town for the history of that and everything. So that was a nice event. It was held down in the parking lot that we discussed earlier, near the Berea Utilities building. So that was a great place to have it. And then we had the conference that Nancy discussed earlier, or actually, this is a different one. I'm so sorry. She was talking about the Appalachian Writers Conference that did come to Boone Tavern. This is the Leadership Kentucky, completely different. But Leadership Kentucky also stayed at Boone Tavern. And they did a scavenger hunt, kind of. They wanted to see more of Berea, so we did this for them last year as well. They broke out into teams, and then they explored all of Berea and took pictures with their teams, and so they had like an actual list of what they needed to find, but then at the end of the list, they have like a make your own Berea find. And this year, and I wish that I would have brought it and we would have put up the technology, but just for a little 30-second clip, it's kind of pointless. But the team that won their Berea find, they actually made a Berea commercial, which was really cool, and they made it look cartoonish, and I don't know how they managed to do all that, you know, in the little time frame that they had, but they loved Berea so much they actually made a Berea commercial to submit, so that was kind of fun. And then we had the Madison County International Committee. That was a group of, there was 10 students from Madison County Schools, 10 students from our sister city in Japan. They came over. They did a bunch of things for a couple of days while they were in town. But while they were with us, they saw artist demonstrations, 2 of them down in Old Town. One by Tim Wade, of course, and he provided them with a little keepsake to take home. Berea Tourism sponsored that for that group. We purchased the ornaments to, you know, go towards their little goodie bags. And then they also saw Jeff Farmer. Since he kind of participates in the Sister City program, he donated his time and materials in order to, you know, demonstrate for that group. So if you see Mr. Farmer out and about, just say thanks on behalf of tourism for doing that. And then they went up to City Hall for a tour of City Hall provided by the mayor. They got to see the fire department, slide down the slide. And then Boone Tavern, of course, sponsored some spoon bread for them to try. So thank you, Donna and Boone Tavern, for doing that for us. They loved it. There wasn't a single bite left of any of them. So good job on that. And then they had a hands-on sewing class, like to make a hand-quilted bookmark. We didn't quite finish that class. The language barrier kind of made it last a little longer. They only had so much time. I was the teacher of that class. I don't know if I'll do that again. I'm not an artist for a reason, but we had to do what we had to do in that moment. Some projects that I've been working on, as you know, you've just saw with the numbers that Nancy provided, we have seen a drop in visitors. Same with the tour bus groups. We've had quite a few cancellations this year. We're still booking a few, but that's just a trend in the bus industry right now. They're not seeing a lot of ticket sales for whatever reason. So it's not necessarily just a Berea thing. It's kind of an everywhere thing. But to kind of combat that and hopefully bring more, we've been reaching back out to our partnerships that we have with different businesses in town. So I just went around to all the different hotels and talked with their owners or managers, and they worked up I worked up a worksheet for them to kind of fill out. So they let me know what their hotels offer, if they offer anything special, any special discounts for groups, all that stuff, so we can get updated information on that. And then I've been emailing with teaching artists. A lot of our groups like to see hands-on classes, because I know earlier that we kind of discussed, the arts and crafts of Berea. And so the demographic that joins tour bus groups a lot, they are older, and the older demographic is still very much into the arts and crafts. And so you'll see them doing that a lot. So reaching out to those partnerships that we've had, the teaching artists, so we have a working list along with musicians that we have, and to see if we can add any more musicians to our list. We just added a couple that entertains together, instead of an arts and crafts class. It's they do comedy, they do game show type things. Boone Tavern, Heather Hudson with Boone Tavern put me in contact with him, and so that would be an interesting aspect to provide for tour groups. But just getting those new ideas to present to these tour bus groups when we go to conferences. A lot of our tour bus groups, you know, they're reoccurring customers, so they know what Berea has to offer. So it's nice to get that new information and be able to provide them with that. And I'm really excited about that because as we're compiling all of this information, I'll be able to take all of that to another conference that we'll be attending in October. It's at the end of October, the 28th through the 30th. It's a group travel conference, and that one is actually based out of Kentucky, so it's in northern Kentucky, so we'll get a lot of local traffic from that, hopefully. So that's a great opportunity to see how this new information is being received. And that's really all I have. Do we have any questions?
If I may add something, sorry.
That's okay.
So the conference that she's attending this year in Owensboro, Kentucky, we chose the in-state because, as she said, that the trend right now with the motor coach groups is, well, it's trending down currently. Folks are traveling closer to home right now. For whatever reason. And so we want to hit some of the local companies. We've got a lot of folks that come. We had a great group out of Bardstown. One of her groups that she's recently had, I believe, was out of Bardstown. Is that correct?
Yeah, Bardstown.
And it was a fantastic group that, you know, you would love to have them every week if we could. They really enjoyed what Berea had to offer. And so even looking just throughout the state, we see that it's very beneficial for these groups. And that's not something that that I can see that we've done, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, with the motor coach conferences is attend things in state very often. Normally they're going to be Michigan, Tennessee, Indiana, like somewhere else. If they're too far out west, we don't even look at it because a lot of times they're not going to come here. But it's just a new avenue that we're trying with what we see trending. So,
Thank you, Emily. All right. Public comments. I don't think we have any tonight. So we'll move on to commissioner comments.
I would like to ask for volunteers, if at all possible, during this Food Bread Festival on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. I'll pass this schedule around if any of you all are available, and you signed up
yeah, she's cooking spoon bread on Friday.
on Friday. I've got you on Friday in the kitchen. You're with me, you are with me in the kitchen on Friday. You are on the schedule. Can I just get a camera for that?
There are other options available. There are other opportunities available.
That's what I'm saying. Would you like me to pass that list around?
You can work with me in the kitchen. You'll be, I promise, it'll be okay. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. The hardest part will be over by that point, so it'll be fine, really. You'll be able to do it, I promise. I'll be in there with you all day Friday. I'm in the kitchen all day Friday, all day Thursday, so. You'll be good. I promise. I'll take care of you.
Is this for the whole weekend, or is this,
We have lots of open spots to either serve spoon bread or to work in the kitchen on Saturday, Sunday. And the serving spots, well, Friday night, either in the park or at the Balloon Glow. So we don't have to discuss it, but I'll let you all look at the schedule. You can let myself know, or you can let Danielle know in the chamber. Do you have any questions, though, about that? Anybody? Or if you know any other groups or anybody else around that, you know, would like to volunteer, we would be thrilled to have some help, so. Your expression was priceless, Donna, so I wish I could have had a camera on that.
Yep. You have to review the video on
Pretty
that one.
sure your mouth was open for a whole 5 seconds.
There's water in my refrigerator. Nothing.
Well, thank you, Shelley. Any other commissioner comments? I'd just like to say, you know, it was really nice driving by the first weekend. The Gallery and Event Center was open, seeing that open sign where that's been such a, you know, long awaited project and everything. It was like, that was just really neat seeing that open, and it's like really excited for what that's going to bring to Berea. And you was mentioning the billboard. I was actually driving back from Somerset late one night, like a couple weeks ago. I seen the new banner, and I was like, or a new billboard, and I was like, that looks really nice seeing that up there. So, yeah, glad to see all that come together. But any other comments?
Will,
Yep.
I just got a question. Who was in the toll building today?
Bluegrass Area Development District.
Okay, good. Big crowd.
Yeah, really great to see that whole project come together there. But any other comments? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes.